years into movie making being a thing. This is really early. It's a German camera called Ernemann. And the things I want to actually ask you what you notice about it. What do you notice about this camera?
It's a box.
Okay, it's wooden and it's a box, right? Those are usually the first two observations. So it's wooden. A lot of cameras are not made out of wood today. Any thoughts about why that might be? Yeah?
If something moves too fast in there and catches fire.
Okay, great. Heat, fire, friction?
Wood. Bad.
Does anyone know the standard frame rate? Oh, I'm sorry, if we could just keep off. Thank you very much.
Is it now 32?
You're very close. So for video, it's 30, and for film, which people still do use, it's 24. It's 24. Now, in this period of time, it probably was more something like 18 or 16, but we'll imagine that it's 24. That means inside of the camera, there's a movement happening every 48th of a second. Because it has to pull down for half the 24th of a second and then take the picture for half the 24th of a second. Right? So it's happening extremely rapidly. So 48 tiny movements in a second, right? Which creates a lot of heat or a lot of friction, right? So you may not want to put your film, which is also, by the way, early film was very flammable, in a wooden case. So really good thought.
Stories of it, like just lighting on fire, like or something. Like a projector.
Exactly. That's why film vaults are incredibly air conditioned. Like you put a coat on to go into a film vault. Also, I mean, I don't want to light spoiler alert. Has anyone here seen *Inglourious Bastards*?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything else, but one of the ending scenes, now you kind of, there's a little bit more reason for why that happened, right? Check it out, it's a great movie. But anything else you noticed about this? Yeah, excellent. I'm glad you noticed that.
What did you say?
Like a little clock.
I thought it was
So-
temperature.
Oh, okay, so let's talk about like I'm going to point out 2 or 3 other things. So guys, if I could have everybody over here with me, that'd be great. First thing I want to point out, this camera actually has a handle on top. So this was actually often used as a handheld camera, not so much on a tripod. I should also point out this camera would have been operated with a crank. This is a motion picture camera. You can't see the crank right now because it's not on here. This crank is actually part of the tripod, it's a little bit sneaky. But there'd be a crank over here. And if anyone here has ever played the game charades, you know when you are acting out a movie title, you do this, right? Which is pretending to run a camera. I also want to point out the lens, right? If you look at this lens, usually a really short lens means it's a really wide angle lens. And so a lot of early movies, you'll notice, they don't have like wide